Okay. We're ready?
I'm ready.
Ready. On call to order this October 8th, 2024 meeting of the Marshall County Board of Zoning Appeals. First item is the roll call of members.
Mr. Bennett. Mr. Hostetler. Mr. Kephart.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Gustafson.
Yes, I'm here. Okay, we got to approve the July 9th minutes. There was one of the voting, I abstained on one of the voting things, so she had to put it in there. So if you guys have read it, I need a motion to approve the minutes, the July 9th minutes.
I make a motion to approve.
I second it.
Motion made second to approve the minutes. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Minutes are approved. August the 13th meeting, we have to do the same thing. So can I get
Is that in here too?
it's in our packet.
Oh, okay.
I make a motion to approve the August 13th.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded to approve the August 13th minutes. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Those are approved. Now we'll do the September 10th meeting.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the September 10th meeting.
I'll second it.
Motion made, seconded to approve the September 10th meeting minutes. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Public hearing. Okay, so we're good there. Okay, first case, 24 BZA 41, Brian and Kathy Dink. Come on up to this table, please. You have a seat and state your name and address for the record.
It's Brian Denk, 9043 Birch Drive, Bremen.
Okay, thank you. Ty?
All right, so we have a request by WA Zimmer Company for a reduction in lakeside setback from the required 45 foot to 10 foot from the floodplain line, and a reduction in the side yard setback from the required 10 foot, 10% lot width to 6 foot, located at 9043 Birch Drive, Bremen, North Township, zoned L1. You can see a couple of the setback lines shown on the map on the right-hand side. Then you can see a proposal of what's coming out as an extension to be able to cover and provide shade. Here is the floodplain line in reference, so they technically have to be 45 foot back from that line, and that's where that setback reduction from the floodplain line is coming. Here's the existing layout of the property. The procedure for this is the Board of Zoning Appeals reviews and makes the final decision on this case based upon the findings of fact as defined in state statute. For the analysis, the applicant is seeking to construct an addition on the rear side of their house on top of an existing concrete patio. The associated building permit is for a 13 by 20 foot patio covered attached to the rear house setting on new concrete posts and piers. The patio is approximately 45 foot from the lake or lot line, and the majority of that space is encumbered by floodplain. The improvement would be approximately 10 foot from the floodplain as requested. For the findings, the public health, safety, and welfare, use and value, and strict application are taken into consideration. For finding number 1, the approval should not be injurious to the public health, safety, and general welfare. For finding number 2, the use and value of adjacent area will be impacted proportionally to the amount that the improvement sticks out past the residence, cutting off a portion of the view of the lake. And finding number 3, the strict application of the ordinance would not permit the proposal and is self-imposed. So for recommendation based on the information provided and reviewed by the Technical Review Committee, staff and TRC would recommend approval of the proposal, and is now up for board determination.
Anything you'd like to add?
Not really, it's an existing patio, like you said, and we're just putting 3 columns
It's like a
on it so we
pergola.
can put screens in.
Oh, okay.
Zimmer is going to put a roof over it, which is basically aluminum insulated. And then we would need 4 screens.
Is it a T-Mo sunroom kind of ad?
Is it a what?
T-Mo brand? I saw T-Mo in that picture, that's why I was just curious.
Yeah, it probably is, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, the representative of Zimmer was supposed to be here.
okay.
but,
Might be walking up behind you.
Joanne.
Go and join. Go
Oh,
and
here.
state your name and address for the record.
Or,
State your name and address for the record.
Aaron Coble, and I'm with WA Zimmer.
Okay.
They went through all the prelims.
You didn't get to see it, but is there anything you'd like to add before we open the public hearing?
No, I mean, if you think
It's right on.
Okay,
Perfect.
you guys got any more questions? You want a motion?
Yeah, make a motion to open public hearing.
Do I have a second?
I second it.
Motion made second, open public hearing. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried, public hearings now open. Anybody here to speak in favor of his request?
Me.
Anybody here to speak against? Any correspondence?
I talked to all the neighbors, they received the letter,
Okay,
and none of them had a problem.
We have no letters.
he has no letters. So, the motion closed?
Motion to close public hearing?
Second.
Motion made second, close the public hearing. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The public hearing is now closed. No issues from you? Anything? Okay.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Motion made and second to approve. Lori?
Mr. Caphart?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Gustafson?
Yes. Okay, you're all set, guys.
I'm going.
Simple. Okay, second case, 24 BZA 42, Eddie Ray and Diana Burkholder. You guys state your names and addresses for the record. Okay, and you, sir?
Andrew Miller, 72036, County Road 100, Napanee.
Okay, you guys can have a seat. Okay, Ty.
So the request for is a variance of use to allow an existing building to be used for warehouse and office for retail. Call-in mail order company that sells seeds, herbicides, trail cameras, scents, and other deer hunting and land management items located at 8126 6th Road, Plymouth, Indiana, German Township, zoned A1. So at the front of the property highlighted in red and magenta, there's a barn up the front there where they've transformed it into that space behind an existing house. The applicant does not live there, so that's why it's a variance of use and not a special use. Looking up and down the roadway, the existing house, then as you kind of pan across the front of the property where they got a lot of their lay down yard for the different items, some fuel storage, equipment and sorts. So the procedure for this is the Board of Zoning Appeals reviews and makes the final decision on this case based upon the findings of fact as defined in state statute. For the analysis, the applicant has recently been operating a business from the property and is in need of pursuing BZA approval in order to continue operations. The applicant is seeking to permit a commercial land management business that has warehousing and office components. The business retail in the form of call-in and mail order. They offer items such as seed, herbicides, trail cameras, scent, and other associated hunting and land management items. The business has 4 full-time employees and began back in 2018. Over that time, they have slowly grown to occupy more and more of the existing building. They are currently in the market for expansion and possibly moving to a new facility location. In the meantime, they'd like to seek approval for the existing facility. The items in interest include, for the findings, the public health, safety, and welfare, use and value, strict application, unnecessary hardship, and comprehensive plan. For finding number 1, the approval should not be injurious to the public health, safety, and general welfare, provided the property remains well maintained. For finding number 2, the use and value of adjacent property will be impacted proportionally to the size and amount of trips generated to the subject property. For finding number 3, the strict application of the ordinance would not permit the proposal and is self-imposed due to the owner not living on the property for a home-based business. For finding number 4, the strict application of the ordinance does not permit commercial businesses by themselves. For finding number 5, the comprehensive plan supports small businesses in rural areas provided they fit into their context. Now, for a recommendation based on the information provided and reviewed by the Technical Review Committee, staff and TRC would recommend approval of the proposal with the condition that there are fuel safety measures to keep the tanks from leaking into the adjacent ditch. Now it is up for board determination.
Anything you want to add?
I got some proposal here that I put together.
Okay, just hand it.
Tom, is that the house, bottom of the land right there?
Yeah, so if you go where it says 6th Road and you go east on the other side of the ditch, which is what makes that diagonal, you can kind of see a loop around there in the west corner of that. That little gray or greenish dot is where the house is. And that kind of swoop around is the driveway that goes around that house.
And where's that building I
That
saw?
pole building, so you see the driveway that kind of swoops around
Yeah,
where the house is, and you see a little gray item that goes due north.
Yeah.
That is the gravel that is adjacent to that building on the west-hand side. So you can almost see a dark dot east of the gravel that extends north. That dark dot is actually where that pole building is. So it's family hunting ground to the rear.
so I saw a deck on the back of that. Is there someone living upstairs? What
There's
is-
someone living in the house up front, but no one in the pole building.
There's someone living in that house?
We use that, the back end of it, like above our offices, just kind of like a hunting lodge. When we
Oh,
go out
okay.
there to hunt.
Okay.
There's a kitchen in there, and we'll go out for the evening with the women. And there's a map on the back of that proposal that shows you a closer up layout of the building, the parking lot, and the residence in the front.
You just gonna use this temporarily, or you're looking for something better, or you
We're
just,
looking for something better, definitely. The business is growing, and it's to the point to where we need retail, walk-in customers, and we're off the beaten path. It's not feasible there. We get one, during the busy season, once a week, one of the neighbors will stop by and pick up seed or something like that. But we want to move to a spot where we have walk-in customers, better location. We just want to, I guess, make things right where we're at before we do that.
okay. Because you're the one that goes out and puts the plots in, right?
Yeah.
I think I met you at Chubb's one time or something, wasn't it? Yeah.
Back then, we did mostly just, 2, 3 guys going out doing food plots and clearing, stuff like that. Now it's to the point to where we started the call-in mail-order catalog company and selling more, shipping out daily, stuff like that.
Okay. Did you see the comment that the TRC made about the fuel tanks? Yeah,
I did
we got
see that.
4 of them there.
There's 4 of them there, yeah.
They all have different stuff in them, or?
There's on-road, off-road, and then there's gas. I think there's 2 off-road tanks. And
Alright.
there's an on-road tank for the trucks. And
Can
then
you
there's gas.
get some sort of containment thing and put them in or something?
We do not have that, but I will
Can you?
definitely do that.
Because they're real close to a ditch, right? Yeah.
Probably 80 yards, 250 feet, something like that.
Oh, it's that far away? Okay.
Well,
There's
that's
a,
an estimate.
there's a certain gallon, as long as you're under a certain gallon, there's not a legal requirement to have extra containment system. And I forget what the gallon number is. I'm not saying we can't require it. but-
Yeah, I happened to be at the TRC meeting when they did it, and he was worried about it, the surveyor was worried about it getting in the ditch.
Okay. This might be a special situation because of the ditch. I think it's
500 gallons, I think.
No, it's more than that.
Is it?
Combined. You can have, there's 1,000.
What are the-
I think there's like 2,500 gallons that doesn't need a secondary containment system. If you go over 2,500, I think it is, combined. But this is a special situation maybe because of the ditch being so close.
And can you get them farther away from the ditch, or,
We could probably do that.
or, I don't know. It's what they asked for, so
Yeah, we
thought
can
I'd
do
ask
that.
you if you could do it, it'd be great.
Oh, I did want to add, so if we do move to a new location, this location may still hold our equipment and stuff like that to where, because we do also set up properties and sell them, and also store our equipment for our own properties. So it will continue to be used for
Okay.
that, just not to the extent it is now.
Okay.
You know how big the tanks are that you have there?
I think the biggest is 500. But
There's one
there's only
500
big
and
one.
300 gallons.
Okay, so you're probably under the legal limit, but yeah, are they gravity flow or
Gravity.
gravity? So so there's no electric, so you can move them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can move them.
I guess I would be okay with that. I know and you might want to check the rules. Whoever fills up your tanks, who
Bellman Oil.
Bellman, they know, because there's.
I don't think it's where the location,
Yeah.
of being so close to the ditch,
We could move it to the east the other side of the building.
If you
I
did
don't
that,
have a good enough.
if you
view
did
of
that,
it.
I'd be okay with not doing a secondary containment system. Because those are kind of a pain, because then you get water in those and you have to pump those out and clean that. As long as it's a gravity system, just move them on the other side, further away from the ditch, so that if there is a spill, you won't get.
Okay, any other questions? Motion, open public hearing,
Motion to open public hearing.
do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, to open public hearing, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried, public hearing is now open. Anybody here to speak in favor of their request? Anybody here to speak against? Any correspondence?
No, sir.
Have a motion to close.
Make a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to close public hearing, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried, public hearing is now closed.
I'll make a motion to approve this with the restriction of moving the fuel tanks further away from the ditch. And you think you're moving on the other side of the building?
Yeah.
So I'll put that in the motion, move it to the east side of the building, so it's furthest away from the ditch.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, Lori, to approve?
Mr. Shepherd?
Aye. Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Gustafson?
Yes. Okay, you guys are all set.
Have a good day.
Okay, third case, B24 BZA 43, Levon and Arlene Burkholder.
Do you want these back?
I don't need them.
Okay.
Okay, so both have a seat and state your name and addresses for the record, please.
Arlen Burkholder, 492 Highway 6 West, Napanee, Indiana, 46550.
Josh Swartz, 8739 West, 1350 North, Napanee, Indiana.
Okay, have a seat and we'll go ahead, Ty.
So the applicant is requesting for a special use to allow a 12 by 28 building to be used as a kiln for drying lumber on the existing business located at 492 US 6 Napanee, Indiana, German Township, zoned A1. This business was brought to you back in 1997 and was approved. And so since they're expanding the business, they're having to come back before you and get additional approval for the expansion of that business. So looking at the pictures of the property, we span across up and down the road, and then you're looking at the same side of the building where they're wanting to add on. And we pan across from a
The
different.
big building's one they're adding on to, this one.
Yeah, that's where they're at now.
It's a separate unit in the back.
There'll be a second structure behind this one.
Okay.
So it'd be adjacent to this smaller building here, correct?
Just to the
Left,
south.
just to the south.
Yeah.
And south in this picture would be
Is
to the right.
Yeah.
So
That's probably
this is
1,200 gallon tank.
Could be.
So the procedure for this is the Board of Zoning Appeals reviews and makes the final decision on this case based upon the findings of fact as defined in state statute. For the analysis, the applicant is seeking to build a 12 by 28 building to be able to house a kiln in order to dry wood for his woodworking business. The business was approved previously and the expansion warrants the need for additional approval and why it is back before the BZA. For finding number one, the approval of the expansion of the business should not be injurious to the public health, safety, and general welfare. For finding number two, the proposal will need to meet all associated development standards for the business. For finding number three, the approval of the proposed addition should not be contrary to the general purpose of the zoning ordinance. For finding number four, the comprehensive plan supports small businesses provided they fit into their surrounding context. And then for other considerations, topography is relatively flat. Zoning is subject to A1 agricultural. There are no new driveways. Parking on existing parcels should be sufficient. There's no landscaping shown, no open space associated. No change in hours have been indicated. No other considerations at that time. No new lighting has been indicated. Traffic generation should be no significant change in traffic generation. And then see the associated building permit for reference to site layout. So for a recommendation based on the information provided and reviewed by the Technical Review Committee, staff and TRC would recommend approval of the proposed business expansion. Now it is up for board determination.
Okay. You didn't draw us a map where the new one is. So the center building, you're going on the south side of it, right? Am I correct?
So it would be going, you have the main shop, which is the white roof. This
Yes,
is the largest building,
yes,
and it's gonna go between it and the building to the north of that.
yes.
Okay.
Towards the north side.
Yeah, it's gonna go right here.
Yeah, okay.
In between the big building
I
and the
didn't see
smaller
it.
building, and it's gonna be positioned more towards the west,
Hmm.
which is why they'll be remaining here for their second case. But right now, it's just purely about, can they do this expansion?
I do have a drawing here. I'm
Do you have a
sorry,
drawing?
I thought that we had emailed you, I'm sorry. Okay, so shall I?
Bring it up, yeah. You Give it to Jim, start with.
Thank you.
Show him what you got.
So there's a north area.
Here, I'll walk over here so you can tell me. This is easier for you.
So which is north? This is north?
Yes, this is north, and then that's the existing.
This is the big building.
Yes.
Okay,
And so, that's an existing pad.
okay.
This is the site, so,
So it'll be a completely,
yeah.
not attached to the other building?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Okay.
You need it still?
You can leave it lay there. And why are we doing this?
It's an expansion of the business.
Because it's a business? Okay.
Right. So they were approved for X originally back in 1997. And now that they're expanding that business by going through the kiln process
Gotcha.
and adding that to the property, that's why it's back.
This
Good.
is just east of Burkholder Buildings, right?
Right next door.
Right next door.
But you guys aren't connected, right?
No.
You and Burkholder, I know the name's the same, but, okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, I'm kind of surprised that there's not more people here because there's drainage issues in this area. And I remember a year or two ago, we had a case from this area. There was a big fuss about drainage. Did they fix the drainage? I know they did some work out there with,
I think they did put
County.
in a bigger line, to cross,
Okay.
yeah.
Was this where they were gonna put the Gen Y hitch? Okay.
well, it was in this area. It was
Okay.
just east of here. It was.
Gen Y was proposed to be 2 properties east.
Right.
So you can see the large driveway for this subject property on your map. You go east to that joint access. It was the right-hand parcel that was proposed to be that project.
But you're really not adding any impervious
Impervious.
surface because it's already gravel.
I would say it's mostly negligible.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have any more questions.
I don't.
Questions? The motion of public hearing?
I'll make a motion to open public hearing.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, to open public hearing. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Public hearing is now open. Anybody here to speak in favor of the request? Anybody here to speak against? Any correspondence?
No, sir.
Motion to close.
Motion to close public hearing.
Do you have a second?
Aye.
Second?
Second. Sorry, I feel like a
All those in
pirate.
favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. Public hearing is now closed.
I'll make, we should approve it.
Okay. You make a motion to approve it?
I'll second.
Matt, second. Lori, the motion made and seconded to approve the building?
Mr. Gephardt?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Gustafson?
Yeah. Okay,
One down, one more.
ready to go to the next case? Okay, fourth case, 24 BZA 44. Is it Arlene or Arlen? It says Levon and Arlen Burkholder.
Arlene,
Arlene? Okay. That's
Well,
what's on our
that's-
paperwork, but,
that's mom's name, and then I'm Arlen.
okay, well, your name was Arlen, so I didn't know if I was pronouncing it wrong, so, but anyway, you're here, so go ahead and state your name and address again, both of you, for the record.
Arlen Burkholder, 492 Highway 6 West, Nappanee, Indiana, 46550.
And you, sir?
Josh Swartz, 8739 West, 1350 North, Nappanee, Indiana, 46550.
Okay, Ty?
Okay, the second variance for this project is a request for variance of development standard to allow west side yard setback reduction 4 foot from the required 15 foot to build a 12 by 28 building for the existing woodworking business located at 492 US 6 Napanee, German Township, zoned A1. So all of the same pictures. And this would be the setback area on the west-hand side.
Where's the property line here? Is it the field? Is it the grass? Is it the concrete?
I think it's the concrete,
Okay.
concrete back to, yeah, along that side.
Okay. Go ahead, Ty, sorry.
You're fine. Again, same pictures, kind of what we were looking at before. Give you an approximate area looking back. Panning across the back section of the property by the property line. And then in the middle of the yard, panning around. The procedure for this is the Board of Zoning Appeals reviews and makes the final decision on this case based upon the findings of fact as defined in state statute. For the analysis, the applicant is seeking to expand their business under 24 BZA 43 and place the new building 4 foot from the side property line where the minimum distance is 15 foot. They are wanting to stay 3 foot from the existing building. For findings, the public health, safety, and welfare, use and value, and strict application are taken into consideration. For finding number 1, the approval of this should not be injurious to the adjoining properties, but may impact them proportionally to the amount of reduction. For finding number 2, the use and value of adjacent properties should be minimally impacted, but the closer the project is to the property line, there may be impacts to future development. For finding number 3, the strict application of the ordinance would not permit the proposal, and so for based on recommendation based on the information provided and reviewed by the technical review committee, staff, and TRC, would recommend approval of a reduction of a setback from 15 foot to 5 foot, and not the 4 foot as requested. Should the BZA find that there is sufficient evidence to go closer than 5 foot, TRC recommends that a survey be required to site the new building. It is up for board determination.
Why do you have to be so close? It's,
There's the building to the side of that, there's.
which building is that? The middle building? On the picture?
The big one.
Okay, the big one?
Yeah. There's a small, like a dust collector. It's like
Down here?
an enclosed dust collector. And so it's about, what is it? It's drawn on there, what the distance is. Yeah, the one back there, I want to set it between, back into, from that enclosure, if that makes sense.
So you're gonna hook up to that open door? You wanna put it tight there, or?
Keep a space. I want to keep a space between that building and this structure, if I can, is why I'm so close to the border.
You can't get it to 5 feet?
I could do 5 feet.
You can do 5 feet?
I think I could.
Okay. I'm guessing this is the area here he's wanting to keep it away from.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else got any questions?
I don't have any.
I don't think I have any.
Okay. A motion to open public hearing?
Motion to open public hearing?
Second?
I'll second.
Motion made second, open public hearing. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried, public hearing is now open. Anybody here to speak in favor of this request? Anybody here to speak against? Any correspondence?
No, sir.
Motion to close.
Make a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Do I have a second? Motion made second, close the public hearing. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carried, public hearing is now closed. So he,
Do you have, I'm looking at the GIS. Do you have a survey? Do you know if there is a survey of that property?
As far as the print,
Well, just like if there's pins, if there's survey pins
do you know where?
anywhere that you could make for sure where your property line is, because I think from what GIS shows, you're right, it looks like concrete. I was just thinking if we go 5 feet, what if your survey's off? What if your line's off 2 feet? I mean,
kind of the way we've always handled that is we tell them it has to be 5 feet off. They find out that it's not, they'll have to move it. So you make the decision if you want to have it surveyed, so.
It might pay you to have a survey done before you build a building. It'll cost a couple $1,000s to do a survey, just to make sure you're not
Is there,
closer than 5 feet.
is the building north of that going to be any, will this be closer than any other buildings that are there now? Closer to the property line? The building to the north?
This is, you asked if this is closer than any of the other buildings?
Right.
Yes,
This one will be?
yes.
Okay.
Because if I mean, Burkholder Buildings is to the west there. That field could be developed at some point commercially. I mean, as long as it's a farmer, it's probably not gonna be a big deal, but what if it did get developed and you find out your building's over on other property or too close? I mean, it could cause you legal issues down the road. It's up to you. I mean, I don't know that I'm gonna propose require you to do a survey. If I was in your shoes, I would. Just so you know for sure where the property line is.
Okay, well, I'll find out.
Yeah.
I'll try to find out where
Okay.
that is.
And maybe you have some pins there, maybe someone knows that there's, can find the pin out by the road or in the back or something, or where there's a property line, you can set up.
I'm taking it Burkholder's Buildings has owned that forever. How long have you guys had yours? Forever too?
22 years, yeah.
How much?
22 years or something, 25.
Yeah, it's a Burkholder owns that field, yeah, it's
Yeah.
a family trust.
Well, if we make it, we tell you you gotta be 5 feet, and Burkholders end up surveying and it's not 5 feet, you gotta
You're
move
in
it,
trouble.
so.
Yeah,
You make the decision.
We'll
You'll-
make sure. I think you better will.
Yeah.
Make sure we find pins and
I-
string it and make sure, whatever.
Or if you had the pins on the other side, maybe you could measure across with a tape,
Yeah.
It should show a dimension on the deeds and stuff, so.
It's close, 5 foot's pretty close. If we approve this, I would make sure you know where the property line is, so
Because 5 feet is not a whole lot of wiggle room.
there's no wiggle room, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve.
A second?
Are you making a motion with the 5 feet?
5 foot,
Okay.
yeah, sorry.
That's all right, I'll second it.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Lori, to approve at 5 feet?
Mr. Shepherd?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Garza?
Yes. Okay, you guys are all set?
Thank you.
One little item of business.
Yeah, so briefly, you guys are good. Next meetings, we're setting up November 7th as your special meeting. Once we get that finalized, we'll get that information out to you so you can rather have it in pencil, put it in pen. But your next regular scheduled meeting is November 12th, and we'll make sure if we've got any applications in attendance.
Josh?
Mr. Burkholder, you still there with us in the hallway?
Are you guys still here? You want your map? Your drawing? Okay.
They're coming back.
Sorry, Ty.
You're fine. Good catch. So we'll let you know about the November 12th meeting, and we'll be able to go forward from there. But past that, I did want to make sure you guys kind of understand that we have a special meeting, and it's going to be very interesting. We provided you guys the rules of procedure at the back of all your packets, so you guys have a copy of those. It's not something we review all the time, but it's something you guys should know. If you got any changes on how you want to see that done, or how other communities have addressed solar and how they've managed their meetings, let me know. I can do that research so that we can try to make everything flow smoothly as possible, so everybody knows what the rules.
To be here?
It will not be here. It'll be likely at the high school auditorium. That way we have enough space for everybody to be able to attend and everything else. So once we kind of get that all nailed down, we'll get everything kicked out for everybody. But we wanted to make sure everybody had a copy of the rules and how that all's going to roll out. That way we can work with you to make sure that everything rolls as smoothly as possible. If you got questions, comments, suggestions, let me know. And if we need to make any amendments or anything like that, we can do that as we start up the next meeting. You guys have any questions or anything like that for me?
I don't have any.
Okay.
Just look it over and See if you want to change anything or do
Yep.
anything different.
If you do, shoot me an email, let me know next week, so we can get that prepared, and we'll go forward from there. Other than that, that's everything we have.
Okay, your motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Motion made, seconded to adjourn. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those nay, we're adjourned.